Hey everybody! Okay, I am live. My name is Luke Wilson. Welcome to the Wilson Auto Detailing YouTube channel. And for those of you who were on the live stream like 5 minutes ago, I apologize. Totally my fault. And I got had a little something come up. And John, yes, so glad you're back. That's too funny what just happened, and I don't have time to go into it right now because you guys are here for a certain purpose, and that is not it, but it was very funny. Okay. So guys, Becker, thank you. Okay. So guys, today, Robin Jones back from Iowa. Sweet. So guys, the riches are in the niches. Auto detailing. We're just going to start from scratch like that never happened. And yes. So let's talk about it, guys. Number one, if you're watching on the replay and you're new here, then welcome to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. And Eli, what's up? So glad to have you. And if you're new, definitely consider subscribing because I come out with daily videos for the professional detailers in order to help you guys become more successful and profitable in your own detailing business. And on this channel, I actually share the exact steps, tips, and strategies that I took that allow me as a professional auto detailer to make a good full-time income with only part-time hours. And so if that's something you're interested in as a pro detailer, definitely hit that thumbs up button on this live stream, and definitely consider subscribing. Now, everyone, thank you so much for joining, and definitely if you're joining, tell me where you're joining from, who you are, and yada, yada, yada. So the riches are in the niches, so let's talk about detailing niches that you can add in your professional auto detailing world and how those things can help you and help you become more profitable. So Clayton, NC, just outside of Raleigh, oh, North Carolina, yes. Eli, awesome. Love North Carolina. Got some people up there in a ministry that I'm a part of in North Carolina. Okay, Greenville, North Carolina. John, very nice. Okay. So, I gave you guys an example just before, but let me give you guys that example one more time. About maybe like 2 weeks ago, I was called, and I was called by a high school where I live, who said, hey, we need a detailer to come out here and remove the vinyl logo that's on our trailer, and because we're getting a new logo, and we need somebody to remove it, and we need it done right. So, vinyl logo removal is not necessarily the first thing that comes to your mind when you're a detailer or when you think of the word detailing and what that entails, but vinyl wrap removal or like decal removal is a job that doesn't take me very much time, but it has a very high rate of return. And so those are the kind of things I want to talk about today for obvious reasons, right? Because the more of those things you can implement into your business strategy, then ultimately the more money you're making per hour, the less energy you're kind of exerting, right? Because a full detail is going to be a lot more kind of tiring than like removing car decals, right? It doesn't take nearly as much time. It's a very different animal, but it's a very high-paying job. And so you kind of talk about polishing in the same way. Polishing is not necessarily like the just regular detailing, but it's a niche inside of detailing that has a very high rate of return, and it's a very high-paying job. And so if you can implement more of those things, then the more successful ultimately you're going to become, the more profitable you're going to become. So, anyways, I have a list here of notes that I wrote down, so I'm not going to be all over the place. So let's start with number one. I have a list of literally detailing niches that come to my mind when I think of this subject. So let me just read them off. RV detailing, car debadging, emblem/decal removal, vinyl wrap removal, headlight restoration, polishing, scratch removal, paint chip repair. Okay, so that's just a very short list, okay? But why do we call this, or why did I label this, the riches are in the niches? Well, because a niche job like vinyl wrap removal or decal removal, or really anything like that, is a job that has to be done the correct way. And unless you know how to do it and you have experience doing it the correct way, then you can't do it, right? So you can't just pull somebody out of, off the street and get them to debadge your car, because it's not going to be done correctly. They don't have the right tools, they don't have the right products, none of that stuff. And so they're either going to mess up the paint or whatever. And so a niche job is very high paying because it's kind of like a specialty. So like a doctor who's a general practitioner is going to make less than a oncologist, like most of the time, right? Because the more specialized you get, the more you end up making, is kind of like the way it works most of the time, right? The more specialized you get, the more money you make. And that's in more areas than just detailing. So, but inside of detailing, things like headlight restoration, scratch removal, paint chip removal are specialized areas that unless you have experience doing it, then you can't do it. And so you can charge more money per hour doing a job like that because not anyone can do it, okay? Anyone can detail a car, but not everybody can detail a car like you can. And that's kind of my whole value proposition in my business in general. You can detail your own car, but you can't detail your car like I can detail your car. And so you could call that a niche kind of proposition. But you guys understand the point I'm making, right? I think I'm probably beating a dead horse, but you understand the point I'm making. The more specialized you get, the more you can charge, because it's not something that just anyone can do, okay? So, next thing I have written down here is, why are the niches so awesome? Well, because here's the equation of these niches. Little time plus a lot of experience equals high dollar job, okay? So I'll repeat that, and I'll make it more clear. A job that takes very little time, but requires good experience and good know-how equals a higher paying job. And so that's kind of just a summary of what I just said. But the more specialized you get, the more you're going to make, okay? And why is this so awesome? Well, because if I can get a job that doesn't require me to, exert all my energy that I have working in the hot sun, but I can make $50 an hour, well, that's just like a win all around, right? So I was detailing today, and I was detailing one of my clients' Audi Q5s. A very awesome car, and it's a small SUV. Well, it took me about 5 hours to get the entire thing done. It was a completely full detail. Anything you could pretty much do to it, I did to it. And I was working in the very, very hot sun, and at the end of the day, I was exhausted, right? I wanted to take a nap, take a shower, and go to sleep. And if I can find jobs that don't require me to put in that much effort, but I can still do a job that delivers a lot of value, but less effort, but really high paying, well, who doesn't want that, right? Who doesn't want that? So, here we go. Next point is, in order to specialize in detailing and in order to get more niche opportunities and niche jobs, which, by the way, if you guys are watching right now, definitely don't be afraid to give this video a thumbs up, this live stream a thumbs up, if it's helping you and it's going to give you some good value and good content. So if you're watching, smash that thumbs up button. And if you're watching on the replay, definitely give it a thumbs up. Okay, so in order to increase the amount of niche jobs you're going to get, you have to increase the amount of niche opportunities that people can give you. So here's what I mean. My fourth point here is get creative. Alaska. Wow, you're watching from Alaska. That's amazing. Okay, so you have to get creative, okay? So for example, I have a customer who owns a golf cart. And one day he was like, my golf cart's really dirty and I want to get it washed. And I was like, oh, Becker, thank you so much. You're rallying for me. So I was like, I'll detail your golf cart when I get done detailing your SUV. How's that sound? And he was like, sure. So I detailed this golf cart. And by the way, when I say I detailed the golf cart, what I mean is I degreased the tires, I degreased the seats, I degreased everything, and then I threw some wax on it, okay? So if you want to call that detailing, then great, but what else can you do to a golf cart? You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much you can do to a golf cart. It's a golf cart. But that was an extra like $50 that took me maybe an hour, and I wouldn't even say it took me an hour. It probably took me less than an hour. So that's like more than $50 per hour that I just made there. And so I wouldn't have gotten that job, though, if I didn't make him aware that I had the ability and the know-how to detail that golf cart. So my point is that in order to do this, if you're not going to do car debadging and like things that are a little bit more specialized and experienced, things like that, you're going to have to get creative in what you offer, because people don't know what you offer unless you tell them, right? So if you want to make more money in these spaces, then you're going to have to make them aware and get creative. Wow, Oxnard, California. Chewy, blessings. Yes, absolutely. So glad that you're in on this live stream. Okay, guys, so get creative. Now, my fifth point is in these niche areas, you can do part-time work but make a full-time income. And you're not only doing part-time work and making a full-time income, but you can actually do part-time hours and make more than a full-time income. So let's just do the math real fast. I like literally wrote down an imaginary situation here. So here's my imaginary situation to help you guys understand what I'm saying. Imagine you have 3 jobs to do tomorrow, and all 3 of those jobs are car emblem removals. Hold on just one second. Okay, car emblem removals. See, this is live. So this is like as real as it gets. See, this is a home that I live in. So people are here and we live here. So people are like literally just open the door. And they're actually standing there right now, but I'm pretending like they're not. Okay, so imagine you have 3 car emblem removals. Austin, yes, of course, absolutely. So glad you're here. So you have 3 car emblem removal jobs the next day, okay? Well, let's say you've scheduled all those in the morning, okay? Well, a car emblem removal is not a job that takes a lot of time. So you're just removing, what I mean is you're just removing like the little Toyota Corolla like insignia and like the risen letters. How do I explain that besides calling it a car emblem? You guys know what I'm talking about when I say a car emblem? Message me and let me know you know what I'm talking about, just to make sure. The little Toyota Corolla letters or the Honda Civic letters, removing those things. That's a car debadging, car emblem removal. Well, that doesn't take very long. And the J Vera 13. Yes, you can get in touch with me in private. You can email me at lucaswilson3@aol.com, or you can get my number off my website. You can feel free to call me. But anyways, I want to help you guys any way I can. But anyways, let's say you have 3 car emblem removals in one morning. Let's say each one takes you a little over an hour. So Robin Jones, ask me that question in like just a second because it's an awesome question. So let's say each one takes you a little over an hour, and that's giving you some good time to like remove it and polish underneath, and that's probably way more time than you need. So let's say you do that, and let's just give you a span from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So 4 hours from 8 a.m. to 12, you're working that day. 3 different jobs. Let's say each job is $80. Okay? $80. Well, that's a $240 morning. And you worked maybe 4 hours. Okay? So you're starting to see how that's literally more than $50 an hour for a job that, number 1, took you very little time. Number 2, took you very little energy, which is awesome, because I don't know if you've ever been detailing in like the hot sun of the summer, but it's difficult. And number 3, if you wanted to stop there, you have the rest of your day to do whatever you want, okay? And let's just say you schedule a full detail or a maintenance detail client that afternoon, and let's just call it a $100 job. And let's say you get done at 3, right? You go from 1 p.m. to 4. Okay, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., okay? That's a $340 day, and you're done probably before 4 p.m. So I hope what I'm saying right now is clicking with you guys, because this is actually very, very powerful, and I hope you understand, like, I hope you see the value in this, because this is big. This is like big time, okay? If you can get this, you can make a lot of money in a very, very simple way. Okay, so anyways, I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's go on to my last point, and then I'm just going to kind of summarize, and then I'll take a little bit of Q&A if that's what you guys would like to do. But just real fast, my last point, I wanted to give you guys an example of niches that beginner detailers can go do, because beginner detailers, you might not want to do like car emblem removal or car paint chip repair or scratch removal because you're like scared of doing that, or you might not want to do wet sanding because you don't have enough experience and you're afraid you might ruin something, which is smart, by the way. But here's some beginner niches that you guys can look into. Engine detailing, headlight restoration, aluminum wheel polishing. So why did I bring up those 3? It sounds so random, but those are all things that really don't require any sort of like skill necessarily. I'm not trying to be mean by saying that. I mean, like, that doesn't take a ton of experience to know how to do. It's not very difficult. So it's not difficult to polish an aluminum wheel. You just got to be kind of strong, right? It's not difficult to restore headlights. You just have to have good sandpaper and be patient, right? So you see what I'm saying? It's not that I'm trying to be insulting. It's that it's not a difficult job. So if you're a beginner, that is absolutely a niche job. Let's apply what we just did to this. Let's say you get 4 clients who want you to detail their engine in one day. Well, for me, an engine detail maybe takes me 20 minutes. Maybe. And that's for like a dirty engine. I mean, I can get an engine spot clean. I mean, like shining like a diamond ring in 20 minutes. Let's say you get 4 of those and you charge $40 each for an engine detail. And you got 4 of those that morning. Let's say each one takes you half an hour. That's 2 hours of work, $40 for 4 jobs. Well, what is that? $160. $160 for 2 hours of work. Need I say more, right? So the reason why I'm so emphasizing this is because if you can catch like the passion or like the vision of what I'm saying, it can be very powerful for you, because it's something that beginner detailers can implement. It's something that 10-year alumni detailers can implement. You can always get more specific, you can always get more niched, and you can always expand in that area. The sky's the limit. You can always get more of those jobs. And there's such high return on it that to not take advantage of it would be a mistake. And so I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. And just by the by, some of you might be thinking, like, 4 engine details in one day? Like, come on, Luke, that's a fantasy world. John from Fresno, California. Yes, John Klein. What's up, buddy? But the fact of it is, getting 4 engine details in one morning, the reason I actually use that example in particular and specifically is because that's a very realistic thing. Like, that is a very, very realistic circumstance that could happen. Very, very real. And so, anyways, guys, I'm going to stop talking. That was the content, the value that I wanted to give to you guys. The more niche that you can get, the more money you're going to make, okay? And that's not like arguable. That's just like true. That's not even up for debate, all right? That's not even just detailing. That's like every area of like anywhere, right? Like we just talked about doctors, right? Like a general practitioner does not make as much as a neurologist, right? Because the neurologist is niched down. He's a doctor. He can do everything a general practitioner can do. but he can do even more in this specific area. So there's a value that he brings. And it's the same thing with detailing. Okay, guys, Q&A. Let's go ahead and start the Q&A right now. And I got an awesome question that Robin Jones, you said, why would you want to take off the car emblems? And it's a great question, but yeah, Eduardo, you answered it really well. A lot of people just think that it doesn't look good, and you'd be so surprised if you included that in your detailing website or something. People would just grab onto it. So a lot of people don't think it looks very good, and they think it's kind of tacky. I've heard people say it's tacky and stuff like that. Becker, your leather seats. Dude, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but honestly, I think my answer is going to disappoint you, because once you clean a leather seat to the point where you've removed some of the coloring, there's no unringing that bell. I'm so sorry. But if anything, look at it as a learning experience, and that you will never do it again. I'm so sorry, man. I've done that before. I've totally been there. But let me offer you this. When leather seats are not maintained and they get very, very, very dirty, then start with super clean 3-1 after Meguiar's All Clean 10-1. Same issue. Does it mean there's no coating on it? If the coloring of the leather was coming off even with the Meguiar's 10-1 dilution of the all-purpose cleaner, William, ask me that in just a second. It sounds to me like the problem is your leather seat, not your strategy. Yeah, and that's actually what I was just about to say, Becker, is that if a leather seat is very, very dirty and it's been that way for a number of months or years, and it has not been cleaned or has not been maintained well, the dirt, just like on the clear coat, it degrades the plastic coating. Okay, yes, Becker, it was maintained or it was not? It was dirty? I don't understand what you're saying. So if the leather's not maintained, okay, it was not maintained. So that's your issue. The dirt degrades the clear coat on the leather. And so what happens is the leather seat sits in so much dirt for such an extended period of time that when you go to clean it, you end up cleaning off the leather. And that sucks. And you're cleaning off the plastic coating. And there's no unringing that bell. But if anything, it's not your fault. Right? It's not, you didn't do anything wrong. So Becker, I guess what I would say is your best strategy right now is to communicate that with your wife. And I'm not married, so I don't know what that looks like, but communicate that with your wife that you didn't mean to, but the leather seat itself, it was the problem, not your cleaning. And that's actually something I talk about with my customers, is I say, I can only clean this seat to a certain point. It's still going to be dirty when I get done, because if I clean past a certain point, I will hurt the leather because it's so not been maintained. Hope that helps. Wow. Sorry, man. Guys, if you're watching this live stream, make sure to give it a thumbs up if it's helping. Tell her it was her fault for getting it dirty. No, don't do that. William, you're starting your detailing business, and the question you just asked is, what would you consider a detailer? Seems a lot of people who wash and wax consider themselves a detailer, and real experienced detailers hate those guys. Eduardo, dude, you're hilarious, because I would not consider that a detailer at all. And I don't know that there's a specific definition for what a detailer is, or requirements, but somebody who's just washing and waxing a car, that's not detailing. That I actually don't wash cars. So I have people who call me and they say, "Can you come wash my car?" And I very literally respond, "No." I just don't do that. It's not worth my time. I'm not saying that in a negative way, but for me to take my time to drive out to your house to wash your car for $25 is not even worth it to me. A $25 check is just not worth it when I could be going to one of my regular clients' houses, detailing their car, and Becker, you're hilarious, and making $45 an hour because I'm detailing, I'm not washing. So I will actually tell my clients if they have a really, really dirty exterior, I'll say, before I get there, why don't you run your car through a wash, and then that'll leave me to be able to detail it and not wash it. I would consider washing just like grunt work. Try at all costs, get away from washing. Get away from washing. It takes so much energy. Anyone can do it. It takes zero skill, and it's just not, I don't know. It's my own opinion. Eduardo, thank you. Guys, if you're just joining in and you're watching this live stream and it's adding some good value, definitely give it a thumbs up. William, my main question is how do you maintenance a price or just choose a proper price for a car? Also, it is necessary for a dual action polisher. William, I can't answer that question simply because there's so many moving parts to that question. But here's what I encourage you to do. I have a video that's called something like how to price your details. Just go to my channel, William, find my detail pricing video. It's not my maintenance detailing price. It's one that I made a while ago. So scroll down a little bit. It says detail pricing on the picture, and click that and let me know if that helps you. I am located in Middle Tennessee. I work in Middle Tennessee. Yes. And William, you asked, is it necessary to have a dual action polisher, or can I get that later? William, I tell everyone who is starting out, focus on the basics and do not complicate things. The simpler that you can make your world, the better, my friend. Do not start with polishing. Just don't do it. There's just no point. If you're a beginner detailer, there's no point in offering polishing. I bought a 30-foot Chris Craft boat this week. Have you had experience cleaning boats? If so, do the same products apply for fiberglass and such? Okay. Yes, I do have experience doing that, and it's not something I do on a regular basis, but it is something that within the next year I am going to start doing on a regular basis. And to answer your question as far as products go with boats, a lot of boats, the clear coat that's on boats is different than cars. And as a rule, it's much more durable, and you're kind of getting into things like gel coating at that point, and yeah, John Moore, exactly, gel coat. So you're getting into gel coating, and man, that's a difficult question. Yes, a lot of the products are the same. You can wax gel coat with the same wax products. You can clean it with super degreaser. You can do all that stuff. But when it comes to like polishing and stuff, you can use regular polish, but they do make special gel coat kind of polishing kits and things like that when you're wet sanding certain scratches, if that's what you're talking about. And I think that's a better way to go, especially if you're dealing with like sealing, like sealants and gel coat. Definitely get the specified like watercraft sealants because they're manufactured like very differently. Becker, Luke, is steam cleaner is safe than using strong chemicals? Is steam cleaning, William, thank you, man. I'm glad you're here. John, absolutely. Is steam cleaning better than using chemicals? No. There are times where steam cleaning is like I have the VX5000 steamer and I use it all the time, but I'll use it more often than not with other chemicals. So I think both and are a good thing. Hi. Okay, I think both and are a very good thing. Guys, I'm about to wrap up, but keep asking questions. What's the best way to prevent wicking? Austin, there's no way to prevent wicking. It's not possible. But, well, that's a terrible answer. I'm just messing with you. The best way to prevent it is to use an extractor. Because wicking happens when you don't... Wicking happens with spills. More often than not, the only time you're going to see that wicking phenomenon is with spills. And so the wicking effect happens when you don't fully remove the spill, and that outline reappears when it dries. And so the only way to fully remove something from a carpet is going to be, like with a spill, is going to be extraction. And so that's what I always tell people is if you have a wicking effect, just extract it. But even using an extractor will sometimes not fix it completely. You'll have to do it more than one time. So I think the best solution is an extractor and then repeated applications for wicking. Guys, I'm going to let this go on for like 2 or 3 more minutes to answer any last-minute questions. And then I'm going to go ahead and sign off because my lady is standing right here. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a movie tonight. And she's amazing. So I need to give her my time. Oh, yes, Jay Vera. I started out with the VX5000. I never bought a steamer that was any lower grade than that just because in my financial world, I don't like spending. If you're going to buy if you're going to buy a steamer that's not the VX5000, you're still going to pay $300, $400 for one that's like worth it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, why would I pay $400 for something that is kind of worth it when I could just put that $400 towards the VX5000 and get a better thing? Robin, yes. Right? I need to give her my time. Commercial grade steam cleaner. Yeah, VX5000 is a commercial steam cleaner. But you know what a great alternative is if you don't have that budget? Is the McCulloch. The McCulloch, it has 2 different versions. One's cheaper, one's a little bit more expensive, but they're both within like $200 range. And I've seen detailers use them, and I am impressed with the results. So check out the McCulloch steamers on Amazon. And any last-minute questions, guys? I'll answer like one more. Okay, yeah, they're like $170 on Amazon. I'll leave room for one more question. Anybody else? Becker, see you later. Thanks so much for being a part of it. Anyone else? Anyone else? I'll wait like 10 seconds. And okay, yes, Javera, you have a great weekend too. Guys, thanks so much. If you're watching on the replay, make sure to give this a thumbs up. Eduardo, thank you. Austin, yes, I will. John, thank you. Definitely, John, I appreciate it. Guys, I really appreciate all your involvement, and in all seriousness, I'm very, very grateful for how involved you guys are with this community. It doesn't just help me, it helps a ton of people who really need the help, right? My website is wilsonautodetailing.com. Okay, guys, once again, if you're watching on the replay and you're new to the Wilson Auto Detailing YouTube channel, definitely consider subscribing because I come out with daily videos for the professional detailers and the car enthusiast on products, tools, and strategies to use, but also things like communication skills, business skills, and all that kind of stuff, all in an effort to help you guys become more successful and more profitable in your auto detailing world. And I show you guys the exact strategies that have actually allowed me to build my auto detailing business into a full-time income source with only part-time hours. So guys, if you're new, definitely consider subscribing. Love you guys. Thank you. And as always from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working so hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.